But he's right. And how can you blame that young kid? If Gaddafi has nuclear weapon, he may still be alive today. So that young man, he's not stupid. So far he has played his cards very well.
And endangers world peace in a very significant way.
Right. You better believe it. And so America got it wrong each time. And then finally they are confronting with a nuclear state in North Korea. So they have to find somebody to blame. Who to blame? China. Easy target. Every sin in the world is because of China. And so, North Korea, blame it on China. What can China do? Mind you something. China's end game for North Korea is exactly the opposite of what America wants.
大家好，这里是嘎人四绝频道。刚才的精彩集锦已经把这场讨论最尖锐的一面摆在了我们面前。面对北韩核问题，美国一次次错过外交解决的机会，最后却把责任轻描淡写地推给中国，仿佛全世界的麻烦都能找到中国这个现成的替罪羊，这样的逻辑，听起来是不是既熟悉又有些可笑？节目中的嘉宾没有顺着西方舆论的惯性走，而是直接指出，北韩对中国而言，不只是一个需要施压的对象，更是一道关系到边境安全的缓冲地带。中国不愿看到局势失控，也不可能接受别人替他确定最终结果。更耐人寻味的是，面对美国一次次判断失误，却反过来要求中国替他收拾残局，这究竟是国际责任还是甩锅艺术？接下来的正片里，我们将从中国的崛起、能源安全和地缘战略一路谈到美国的对华遏制，以及美中两国在北韩问题上的不同盘算。中国到底是在制造危机，还是在被动应对？美国又为何总能把自己的失误包装成别人的责任？真正精彩的交锋现在才刚刚开始。
So Europe is a big market. 600 million people, very wealthy, buy a lot of goods and can supply a lot of necessary or desirable goods to the Chinese. They are happy to trade with you.
They're happy to trade with us Europeans. They may also may or may not be happy to collaborate with us on international issues such as the North Korean nuclear issue, where Europe plays a minor role for all intents and purposes. Let me ask another question, Ronnie, which comes from the audience concerning Beijing's role in the DPRK nuclear crisis. Which concrete steps do you think can Beijing take to escalate tensions with North Korea?
Escalate tensions.
To de-escalate.
Or de-escalate.
No, God forbid. Please escalate.
First of all, let me tell you what I think China looked at the whole situation. In the last 40 years, America refused to talk to DPRK. America is just too proud. During the Carter days, they had a diplomatic solution possible. Carter, last minute, canceled it. Under Clinton, same thing. Under George W., same thing. Every time there is a diplomatic solution, and Americans will be the first to admit that, America, last minute, all mess it up. Each time they miss a diplomatic solution, you ratchet the game in the wrong direction. Nobody in the neighborhood, I don't know about Russia, but nobody else, Japan, Korea, China, United States, none of them, Canada, none of them want a nuclear North Korea. The wind blows the wrong way, the Chinese is hurt. Nobody wants it. So every time the Americans miss a diplomatic solution, that the Kim family and the North Korean begin to do more in the wrong direction for the nuclear weapons. So now, suddenly you have a situation where North Korea is basically a nuclear state, like it or not. And one of the top leaders in America had admitted to me in my office that you might as well treat them as a nuclear state. The only thing is he would not say that when he testified in the US Congress, okay? But he's right. And how can you blame that young kid? If Gaddafi has nuclear weapon, he may still be alive today. So that young man, he's not stupid. So far, he has played his cards very well.
And endangers world peace in a very significant way.
Right. You better believe it. And so America got it wrong each time. And then finally, they are confronting with a nuclear state in North Korea. So they have to find somebody to blame. Who to blame? China. Easy target. Every sin in the world is because of China. And so, North Korea, blame it on China. What can China do? Mind you something. China's end game for North Korea is exactly the opposite of what America wants. America doesn't care if tomorrow North Korea disappears. China would not want it because China doesn't want a U.S. army at the Yalu River between North Korea and China.
So it's a buffer.
Right, they want a buffer. So they want to keep the country there. America doesn't care. Get rid of them. So much better. And America is very good at it. Regime change is a specialty of the United States. And only the United States have the power to do that. At last count that I have come up with from public sources, 50 times perhaps in Second World War, public information. So China say, put yourself in the Chinese position. You guys messed it up in the Carter administration, in the Clinton administration, in the Bush II administration. And now you have to find somebody to blame, and so you blame me. Why should I listen to you? And by the way, we have a different end game. And so they say, hey, my American friends in Washington, D.C. said, why don't they just turn off the tap for the gasoline? So you want to freeze 5 million North Koreans to death? The Chinese say, hey, these are my friends. I want them around. Why do I want to freeze them? And the China, whatever you say about the communist China, they remember their friends. And the Kim dynasty have been their friends for the last 60, 70 years.
And a bit of an unruly friend, wouldn't you say?
Maybe so. America has a lot of unruly friends as well.
That's true.
Is America a saint? Anybody a saint here, ladies and gentlemen? Now, mind you also, if China does not supply energy, how do you assure that Russia does not supply energy? Do you know who is the most important ambassador in Pyongyang? Anybody know? The Russian, exactly. So America is just looking for a scapegoat for all the diplomatic mistakes that it has made in the last 40 years. And so now blame it on China.
But Ronnie, wouldn't you say that the DPRK issue could also be an opportunity for Beijing to be taken to, gain some international profile as a country that helps to resolve... Why do they need to gain
international profile?
Well, I think they could prove that they're able to take the lead on resolving a very serious international crisis in a constructive way. I think that would be a good thing to do.
When you're dealing with America, who mess it up again and again and again and again, you're telling China to say, all are forgiven. All the diplomatic mistakes that America made in North Korea are forgiven. We want to be nice to everybody, a big smile. Is that what you want China to be? And mind you, China, as I said, have a very different end game as the United States. So China is big enough to say, I do what I think is proper and right. Let history judge.
In his book on China, Henry Kissinger, who you know very well, warns that one of the biggest dangers to peace in the 21st century will be the clash between Chinese and American exceptionalism. Are Washington and Beijing doing enough to avoid an escalation?
First of all, I'm pretty sanguine about the US-China relations. I don't think it's that dangerous, for simple reasons. America has been doing foolish things vis-a-vis China, in my opinion, in the last 20 years. But you need two parties to get a divorce. China doesn't want to have a divorce. China is a beneficiary of the post-World War II global system, including the trading system. America shoulder all the problems in the world. Wonderful. China will be very happy to hide behind the United States. And so, I remember that time I was with Merkel and Henry Kissinger here in Germany. And an Indian economist and I were sharing we're just a minor speaker in a small session on Asian economy. He said to me, he said, China is buying oil, gas, and mineral, and this and that, everywhere, coal. We India are doing exactly the same, but we're just so happy that China is in the front, China is bigger, China is buying more, so all the blame go to China, which is true. China like to do the same thing with the United States. Let you take care of, be the police, you solve all those problems, right? You bear all the responsibility, and we just support you. But don't make us number one. I gave a talk one time with Kevin Rudd. I said, China, in my opinion, is very happy to play second fiddle to the United States in international affairs. Sitting in the front row was a Chinese ambassador to the United States. This is in Washington, D.C., in the Kay Adams Hotel, many of you know, just in front of the White House. And so I said, my opinion, China is very happy to play second fiddle to the United States. Before we end, the organizer, the president of that organization asked the ambassador, said, please, Mr. Ambassador, would you like to share something before we call it a night? And the ambassador got up and he said, of course he cannot say he agrees with me, right? He's a diplomat. So he said, well, a lot of the things that Mr. Chen say, I think it's worthy of our considering. But we in China have long decided that we don't want to be number one.
这场持续数小时的对谈，表面上是在讨论中国，实际上追问的是一个更大的问题。当一个曾经沉寂，如今已经成为世界大国的国家重新回到全球舞台中央时，世界究竟应该如何面对它？而当美国逐渐减少对国际事务的投入，西方主导的秩序出现裂缝，又有谁能够承担起随之而来的责任？从罗尼陈的个人经历出发，我们看到的并不是一个抽象的国家崛起故事，而是一个普通人亲眼见证时代转向的过程。他曾经因为家庭经历对中国大陆充满戒心，也曾认真考虑过是留在香港还是离开亚洲。可是当他花费1年半时间走遍中国各地之后，最终发现改革开放并不是一句口号，而是一场正在发生的深刻变化。正是这场变化让无数人的生活得到改善，也让中国从世界体系的边缘逐渐走到了世界经济的中心。但经济崛起从来不会只停留在经济层面。当一个国家拥有庞大的人口、巨大的市场、完整的产业体系，并且越来越依赖海外能源、粮食、贸易通道和国际金融，它就不可能永远只关注国内事务。经济利益需要安全保障，海外利益需要保护能力，发展成果也需要相应的国际话语权。于是，海军建设、能源布局、海外投资、基础设施合作以及“一带一路”倡议都不再只是单纯的商业安排，而是经济、政治与安全相互交织的结果。这也是理解中国对外行为的一个关键角度。西方常常把中国的行动看作扩张，把中国影响力的增加理解为对既有秩序的挑战，而中国方面则认为自己不过是在保护不断扩大的经济利益，争取一个与自身实力相匹配的位置。双方的分歧不只是利益冲突，也来自完全不同的历史记忆。西方记住的是规则、联盟和自由秩序，中国记住的则是近代以来的屈辱、被压迫以及在关键时刻缺乏自保能力的代价。当然，理解一种立场并不等于接受它的全部做法。中国已经成为大国，就必然要面对更高的责任标准。无论是南海争议、香港问题、新疆和西藏问题，还是对外投资、难民接纳和国际危机处理，这些议题都不能只用一句国家利益来解释，也不能只靠历史创伤来辩护。一个真正受到尊敬的强国，不仅要有保护自己的能力，也要让周边国家相信它的力量不会随时转化为压力。不仅要追求发展，也要回应外界对透明度、权力和规则的关切。同样，西方也需要重新审视自己的态度。 把所有问题都归咎于中国，把中国的每一次行动都解释为阴谋，既无法解决现实矛盾，也会让对话失去基础。担忧可以是理性的，批评也可以是必要的。但如果批评建立在片面信息、意识形态偏见和对历史的选择性记忆之上，最终只会制造更多误判。世界不可能永远停留在某一个国家绝对主导的时代，也不可能要求一个拥有14亿人口的大国永远保持沉默，永远退让。这场对谈最值得我们警惕的，正是怎么做都不对的困局。中国如果不承担责任，会被批评为逃避；中国如果承担更多责任，又会被怀疑是在扩大影响。美国如果继续介入全球事务，会被指责为干涉；美国如果选择退缩，又会留下权力真空。面对这种局面，各方真正需要的不是把世界简单分成朋友和敌人，而是建立能够容纳差异的合作机制。价值观可以坚持，但不应被用来划出不可逾越的阵营边界；利益可以竞争，但不能让竞争失控为冲突。归根结底，世界秩序的变化并不是某一次会议、某一位领导人、某一项倡议突然造成的，而是人口、经济、科技、能源、安全和历史记忆长期积累后的结果。中国的崛起不会因为外界恐惧就停止，美国的影响力也不会因为一次退缩就彻底消失。真正决定未来的是大国能否在竞争中保留沟通，在拥有力量之后保持克制，在追求自身利益时也顾及他者的安全感。对我们普通人来说，观看这场讨论的意义，不是急着选择支持哪一方，而是学会分辨事实、立场和情绪。面对国际新闻，我们既不能盲目崇拜强者，也不能因为害怕变化就拒绝承认现实已经改变。世界正在进入一个更加复杂、更加多极的阶段，任何国家都不可能独自解决所有问题。你认为中国应该承担更多国际责任吗？西方又该如何面对一个不断壮大的中国？欢迎把你的看法写在评论区，也欢迎点赞订阅，继续观看更多精彩视频。